Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 8 of Decode Disrupt, where insight meets interruption. I'm Nicolette.
And I'm Gabby.
Cool, cool.
I think one of the strangest things about growth, right, Nicolette, is that eventually your life starts to ask you to introduce yourself again.
Mm,
Not because um, you don't already know these people, because you're a new version of yourself. I think one day people realize the version of you they met no longer exists anymore. So you're introducing them to a version of you that tolerated, you originally introduced them to a version of you that tolerated everything, and now this new version of you apologizes for nothing. They don't apologize for taking up space. They don't need your permission, and they no longer want to keep themselves smaller to make you comfortable. And
mm-hmm,
then something strange kind of happens, right?
mm-hmm.
And you answer to a name that no longer feels like you per se.
Okay. So, yeah, we talked about embodiment last week, and now we're moving into expression. And this is going to blow your mind. It's still blowing my mind. I think this is one of the loneliest moments in growth. Everyone around is interacting with the person that they've always known, just as Gabby was saying. And while you're trying to honor someone they've never met yet, there's that huge like chasm or gap. You've already changed, but your relationships haven't. Okay. Your environment hasn't. Sometimes your habits haven't. Right. And now you're living between two introductions. I really like that, Gabby. Hmm.
Yeah,
The one the world keeps making and the one your soul is quietly rehearsing.
I love that. I love the way you frame that. When your soul is quietly rehearsing, because during the embodiment phase, you do get better in tune with yourself, right?
Mm.
So now you're at a phase where you, this person that you've been becoming, has to reemerge into the world. And that's why I think today's conversation isn't really about expression. I mean, it is, but it's more about reintroduction, because expression isn't about becoming louder. You're not building a brand, you're not reinventing yourself. You're allowing your outer life to stop contradicting what you feel internally. Embodiment changed your relationship with yourself, and I think expression changes your relationship with the world and those around you. And that's where a lot of people kind of get stuck, right? Not It's not really because they don't know who they become. They know internally, you know who you are, right?
Okay.
Because they're afraid to let everyone else meet this new version of themselves. And there are a variety of reasons that we may or may not be afraid to allow people to meet this new version of ourselves.
I love this topic. So today we're asking a different question, you guys. What happens after you've done the healing? After you've changed your habits? After you built the new identity? After you've become the evidence? How do you stop introducing yourself as someone you've already outgrown? All right. So, with every episode, and this is so special because we're on episode 8. So, if you're new or even following along, thank you. But 1 through 8 is an arc. It's like the old school days of listening to an album where there's a lot of intention and it's an arc. So, we invite you to go back to what you need because it's all there, baby. All right.
Yes.
So, for today's episode, well, every episode we always like you to tune and tap into why this topic is important to you. So why is this important to me? Well, I think many of us, spend years asking who am I, or our whole lifetimes or lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? But is it safe to let people know? And this word safety keeps coming up because becoming someone new is kind of private and tender, and expression is relational. I really like that, Gabby. It's relational. All right.
Yes.
It's the moment people experience the new you where things begin to reorganize. And I don't think enough people talk about how vulnerable that is. And I'm literally living this right now.
Absolutely. And the funny thing about it is you can live this for years. Like this isn't something that happens in a week or a month. Um, and sometimes it could be 2, 3, 6 months, 2, 3, 5 years, right?
Hmm.
I like what you said about um, expression being one of the loneliest parts of growth, but I also think it's one of the most misunderstood parts of growth, right?
Hell
I
yeah.
think because people think expression is just about visibility, But I think it's more about congruence, being in harmony, your expression being in harmony with what you internally embody, right? I think it's the moment your internal life finally begins telling the same story your internal life is already living or has been living or has already always known, but you've never expressed it because you've been shrinking yourself to fit into certain rooms and environments, you know? It's expression is the moment that your standards become visible, your boundaries become visible, your inner peace becomes visible, the work you've been doing becomes visible. It's not because you're trying to prove anything to anyone, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
just no longer interested in hiding who you truly are.
It sounds, yes, but how? So we're going to unpack that, y'all. Like, how?
Yeah.
So the discussion's going to be, we're going to talk about why expression feels more vulnerable than transformation itself, why visibility often feels fucking scarier than healing, why people continue introducing themselves through an identity they've already outgrown because there's that safety hiding mechanism, and why authenticity changes relationships before it changes circumstances.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. I want to take a moment to say hello to those of us joining live. Aras, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but thank you for being here. And Goddess T. Marie, thank you so much. Shout out, special shout out to you. The algorithm brought you to us at the right time. Taking notes, all the things, like, we appreciate your devotion. That's the new way we label discipline, your devotion to you, to your evolution. We see you. All right, let's go into Decode. And I know this is my part, as Gabby likes to say, but I like to switch shit up. I want you
That's
to
what's
start
up.
us off.
All right, let's go. And then I'll take point one since it's my show today. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm just joking. So, what is expression? Okay, thank you guys for joining us. So, what is expression exactly? It's not about becoming someone new. It's about becoming impossible to mistake for who you used to be, or who you used to pretend to be, or who you used to shrink yourself to be. Right? It's the natural consequence of embodiment. Right? Embodiment reorganizes your inner world. Expression allows your outer world to catch up to who you already reorganized as. Right? So the mistake most people make is believing that expression is something they create. It's not. It isn't created. It's simply revealed. It's uncovered. You're no longer hiding. It is what remains once you stop negotiating with identities that no longer belong to you.
Wow, Gabby, thank you for starting us off. So I'm hearing a lot of push pull. I'm hearing a lot of forcing. I'm hearing a lot of resistance, whatever that word is. But what I'm hearing, the essence of what you're saying, and we'll go deeper into it, is expression is embodiment becoming visible.
That's it.
That's
That's
all it
exactly
is.
what.
All
That's
that
it.
work you did, and we're allowing it to flow and allowing it to express. So I'm already trying to skip steps and go into, it's not performance, right? And
No,
that we're going to get into that. So
it's
let's,
not faking it till you make it.
oh, we hate that term.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Whew, I'm all
So,
fired.
like you said, like you already said. So, our first point, she already said it. Expression is embodiment becoming visible,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Embodiment happened in private when no one was there, right? Nobody saw your therapy sessions. No one read your journal entries. Nobody saw the difficult conversations you had to have with yourself. That raw, honest truth that you had to have with yourself. No one saw you crying on the bathroom floor at 3 o'clock in the morning because you're having a nervous breakdown. Nobody saw the boundaries you practiced before you spoke them aloud. Nobody saw the nights you decided not to become the old version again. That was embodiment. So expression is simply the moment those invisible decisions begin producing visible behaviors. People suddenly say, "Oh, you've changed." No. What they're really witnessing is the months or the years of invisible practice finally becoming impossible to hide, right? Expression isn't a new identity, it's evidence that the old one no longer fits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my angle with this one, this first point, expression and embodiment becoming visible, I think is where people get confused. I think expression is another phase of growth, right? I mean, they think expression is another phase of growth, but it's not. It's what naturally happens when embodiment has been practiced long enough. You stop trying to look different. You simply become too different to keep behaving the same way, right? Embodiment changes your relationship with yourself, and expression changes your relationship with your outer world.
Wow. Okay. I'm feeling that. Thank you. And I want to say hi, Marlena, Fly Kitties. Hey.
Marlena, and again, I don't know what's going on
What's up? You can't
with.
see the chat?
I can't see the chat. I can't even see. The only person I can see in the live is myself.
I'm like,
So
that
weird.
is so Jupiter and Leo, bitch is like, it's just me.
Yeah, yes, I can't see anything.
All right. Well, we see you, Marlena. Thank you for being here. We love your energy. Do you have anything more to add to that point number one? I think that was pretty clean.
No, that was it. That's pretty basic point.
Okay. Decode point number two, y'all. Every relationship contains a version of you. Yeah, right?
Yep.
Simple enough
We're different things to, or we're different versions of ourselves to
to
different
different
people.
people. Okay.
Hmm.
So before I break this down, to me that code switching comes up. It's an aspect of you. I won't even go into masking, but you have different roles with different people, and they might be authentic versions of you, and they might be fucking people pleasing. We don't know, but let's break this down. One of the hardest truths about expression is people don't know you. They don't know what's going on in your mind and your heart. They know their experience of you. Your parents certainly know a version of you, coworkers, partners, friends, right? Yeah. So again, none of these identities are necessarily false. I like this. They're simply snapshots.
I love the way you said that.
Snapshots. To me, that's not even dynamic and alive. That is like a still a moment in time. And you're always
Yes.
changing. Like me and Gabbi are like, snip, snip if you don't let us evolve,
Yeah. Snip,
right?
snip. You gotta go. Yep.
So these are frozen moments in time that people are like packaging you and compartmentalizing and knowing you. I don't know. It just feels so constrictive to me. So the problem is relationships quietly build expectations around these snapshots, right? Like they get
Hmm.
used to you. They get used to your behaviors and what you do and how you make them feel. And the moment you change, people don't just experience your growth. Listen to this. They experience the disappearance, the person they've expected to find. Woo! That's why expression can feel disruptive. Not because you become difficult, even though we might have been told that. It's because
Yeah.
you become unfamiliar.
Exactly. It's
Damn.
also a control factor mixed in with that too. People want to maintain the expectation that they have of you, right? So if
Mhm.
you're no longer choosing to embody that version of who they expect you to be, then yeah, they're gonna call you difficult. They're gonna say you've changed.
Mhm.
All the negative uh, descriptive words.
Right. And before I go into my angle, Marlena, first of all, she calls you out. That's what happens when you pick a new location. I don't know what she's referring to. Maybe you can't see the chat, but basically, she called
Uh,
you out for picking a new location. We'll have to
I couldn't see the chat last week, Marlena.
back. And Marlena, what she says, she feels the same around everyone now. That's a good thing. That means
That's good. That's a great thing.
that's huge. I see you. All right, let's round of applause. All right. My angle with this point is, so I think this is where compassion becomes important. Some people aren't resisting your evolution, which it can feel like it. They're grieving the familiarity that's no longer there. They're trying to understand why the relationship suddenly feels different. It's like the rug was pulled out from underneath them. You're going through these changes, and all of a sudden, you're like, nope, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do
Yep.
that.
I
Nope,
don't want to.
I don't want to. And they're like, not because you've done something wrong, but because the person they know no longer occupies the same space. So the key line here, y'all, people aren't reacting to who you've become. Oof, they're reacting to the absence.
Oh, sure. I'll take one. Thank you. Oh, let me get this
Getting
one.
drinks by the pool.
Thank you.
Bitch.
Thank you so much. All right. You had me a Jello shot.
Okay. There's
I
some
won't
vodka.
take it on the. I won't take it on the while we record.
I love this look for her. Okay. While it's over here dumping and humid and gloomy where I am. Thank you, Gabby.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We love you. All right. So I'm going to run back that key line. People aren't reacting to who you've become, they're reacting to the absence of who you used to be.
And I love that. And it's not. It sounds simple, right? But when you think, it's not something we think about often. But to put it in the forefront of my mind, right, is I think it's a very profound statement to make, especially when you're going through the embodiment and expression phases, right? You have to consciously remind yourself, don't take what they say personally. Don't rush to defend yourself. Don't remind them of, don't explain who you are. Don't do any of that,
Mm,
because you have to remind yourself that they're reacting to the absence of who you used to be. And you're no longer at their mercy to
mm.
conform or go back to what they expect you to be.
This
You
is really
know?
wise shit, you guys.
Yeah.
Will fast track your evolution, your growth faster because people are going to bump up against you. And it's again not personal, it's what you do with
Yeah.
it. And that shit right there. It does bring compassion to the whole situation, compassion for yourself, compassion for others. Because if you look at it as they're just grieving and reacting to the absence of you, that makes me feel softer instead of like, why the fuck are you stopping me from being my best self?
Yep. Exactly. You don't get to dictate who I am anymore.
Mm-mm. All right, we good? You want to move on to number 3? Start us off.
Yeah, I start us off.
Okay.
So point three. So expression exposes every place that you've been hiding, right? This is a big one. So expression isn't about speaking more. Sometimes expressions look like finally saying no, finally charging what you're worth, finally applying to the job, the school, the course, finally leaving the relationship, the family dynamic, the job, finally resting, not overworking anymore, finally asking, finally creating, finally introducing yourself without apologizing for your ambition. The opposite of expression isn't silence, it's self editing. The opposite of expression isn't silence, it's self editing. And that is so profound in the fact that we think, you know, that the opposite is silence. But what you're doing, even it, 'cause, when you do that, when you don't express, it's not always silence. Sometimes you're conforming, or you're shrinking, or
Mm,
you're making yourself smaller. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's more self-editing and not so much silence, right?
mm.
It's constantly asking, will this version make everyone else comfortable? Instead of asking, is this version of me true?
True.
Every time we edit ourselves for acceptance, we slowly lose congruence. And eventually we begin confusing approval with belonging.
Damn. Damn. That was like an assault to like all those words, y'all. So much like rewind that, write it down, get that cognitive
Yes.
body. That is good stuff, Gabby.
Yes. So my angle with this one, right, is I think hiding becomes dangerous because it becomes automatic. You know, once you do it once or twice, it's like your mind rests. This is what I do in this situation. This is how I act around this person. This is how this is what my action should look like in these moments, right? So it becomes automatic. And after a while, you're not pretending for the other person anymore. You're pretending for yourself.
Mm,
You forget that your unedited voice, you forget what your unedited voice actually sounds like. That's why expression often feels less like speaking, and it feels more like remembering. It's just going back to who you are internally, or just realigning with who you know you are internally.
mm. I feel like we can end the show right there. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the code section.
Oh, this one's gonna be a lot of truth bombs, a lot of resonance, y'all. This
And it
this
may be a little longer too.
get ready for that. Like get comfortable because it is,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna rush this shit.
Yeah.
Before we go into decode point 4, I keep hearing in my mind like the reason why we might be doing these things are survival mode, right?
Yes.
We do this for the job. We do this because our parents, fought to come to America or whatever. Like there's so much conditioning around not being difficult and not and just right conforming. And so
Exactly.
this isn't easy, y'all. And I think a lot of people who misconstrue our growth, they're either scared themselves, but they mean well. Because I believe sometimes love gets wrapped up in fear, right? Like
Hmm.
your expression makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm not okay with my growth and I need to stay safe.
Absolutely.
I just kind of wanted to touch upon that because it's hard to break free. It's hard to be a cycle breaker.
It is. Oh, it's very hard. You not only do you have the family coming after you, you have societal expectations, the norms, and everything. It can be a very lonely path. you know. And
Trust.
I think we were all traveling solo until we met each other on Substack.
Can we say thank God for that? Yes,
Thank
thank
God for Substack. Substack was, I think, a lifesaver for all of us.
God.
I will
100%.
forever love Substack.
Thank you. And Marlena was like the glue that
The glue, yeah,
glue. Okay. And remember,
yes.
yes, Goddess Team, it is important to remember this is our God-given birthright to be who the fuck we really are.
What did she say in the comment?
Remembering.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Reiterated that when you were talking about this is just a remembrance because it could be so easy, but the conditioning made us forget who we really are.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
That's it. So I think to sum up this decode point, this
Yeah.
is point 3.
Uh-huh.
So if I had to sum it up, I'll say the expression isn't finding your voice. It's removing everything that convinced you not to use it.
Boom. Did we not just go on a tangent that supported your fucking ending line?
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Love that. Okay. Decode point number 4. Expression reorganizes your relationship, or excuse me, your relationships before it reorganizes your life. That to me is interesting. Let's get into this. One of the biggest misconceptions about growth is believing your circumstances change first. We've talked a lot about this in previous episodes,
We have.
right? So most of the time, your relationships may shift first, not because you rejected people, because you stopped rejecting yourself. I think that's what Marlene is doing, right? Because she's feeling herself in all her reflections.
And I think that's a good, she's arrived.
Yeah. Hello. All right. So yeah, for me, this one is stop laughing at jokes that diminish you. Girl, in Filipino culture, I had hella family making fun of my height, my weight, and I'm
Don't
like,
go with your height and weight. You're small.
thank you for saying that, but in Tagalog we call it tabachoy. Like, okay, so they feed you and then you get fat and then they call you fat. I don't know how other cultures feel about that. So you're fucking all fucked up because love comes through food, right? And then you don't know when you're full because they're like, you eat now. And then they're like, oh, why you fat now?
So weird.
So weird. And then they make fun of you because they're uncomfortable. So all that taboo culture shit, you stop laughing at the jokes that diminish you. Okay.
Yeah.
At the family parties, you're that person who tells all your, aunties and uncles, no, doesn't go well.
Yeah. I just to give I did this recently because when I cut off my mom, mind you, I cut off my mom in 2024 and everybody, you know how the family does. She it's so much to unpack with this lady, but my stuff is still in the federal space, so I can't talk too much about it. But
Or
um when I cut my mom off, like I stopped hearing from everybody else. So now when things are moving, last weekend or the weekend before, one of my cousins reached out to me and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna come see you." I was just like, "Oh," like I was sending one word answers because I wasn't gonna link up with her. She came to Chicago. She just would have been in Chicago. She wasn't gonna see me in Chicago. And so she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, just fake." She said, "Oh, if you got something to say, just say it." And I'm just like, "I did. Are you illiterate?" Like, I said it already. And like, then after that, her mom, because that's my favorite aunt's daughter. So then after that, like, so they keep sending my favorite aunt to reach out to me. But I had to cut her off too because I realized they're using her as a means to get
Trojan
to me.
horse, huh?
Yeah, and I had to cut her off too. I'm like, well, I guess I got to cut off my favorite aunt.
Oh,
So I
no.
didn't answer her. The next day, her sister, my other aunt called me, and I'm just like, I'm not talking to like I'm cutting off everybody
Wow, Gabby, thank you for
because people are realizing like, no, I said what I mean what
literate.
I
I
said.
fucking love that. I fucking said what I said.
Yeah, and I'm not going back. There's no apology that
Yeah.
will make me go back.
Damn, y'all, you heard that. Do you see the
Yeah,
pain that we've went
yeah,
through, the choices we've made so that we
yeah,
can flourish? We're not lying. We're not hiding shit, dude. It's not.
yeah,
So continuing with expression reorganizes your relationships before it reorganizes your life. We talked about stop laughing at jokes that diminish you. Stop explaining your boundaries because you already said them once. Okay. Stop volunteering for roles you've outgrown. That took me like a long time. long time, because I'm always the doormat. I'm always the peacemaker. I'm like, at what cost? My joy, my life, my health. All right. You stop performing versions of yourself that no longer exist. And suddenly, guess what? People start responding differently.
Oh yeah.
Right? Some might become curious, some become uncomfortable, some might be inspired, some become distant.
Mm.
And this is not because you've changed and become someone different overnight. It's because the relationships you built an identity around have retired. Whoa. Expression doesn't expose who belongs in your life. It exposes which version of you the relationship depended on.
Absolutely.
That is huge, y'all. Because, if you're like, I don't know how to explain this. I'm a lover girl at heart. And when relationships don't work, I introspect and I look at myself. And now just hearing that, the relationship didn't work because it was dependent on me being a certain aspect of myself that isn't good. What? So my angle here is, I think this is where people mistake growth for loss. And we talked about that earlier. They'll say, ever since I started changing, people started acting differently. My question is, did they change? Or did they simply stop receiving the version of you they've grown accustomed to?
Yep. And that's it.
That's it. Sometimes relationships don't end because you've become too much. Oh, they end because you've stopped becoming less.
Yep. And that's exactly why it ends.
Hmm.
That's exactly why it ends.
RIP relationships that don't serve us. Key line. Expression doesn't break healthy relationships. Okay, so if the relationship is healthy, it doesn't break while you keep changing and evolving. It reveals which relationships depended on your self-abandonment. Just gonna
That's
leave
a
it
deep one. That's a deep one.
there.
Because people like you as long as you're self-sacrificing. Because they benefit. The moment you stop self-sacrificing, there's nothing for them to gain.
Gain,
Then,
exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
then it's a problem.
Whew. I feel like my inner child needs a hug right now because that's a little close to home. Mm.
Yeah,
All right. You ready for number 5? You want to take this one?
yeah, I take it. Expression always costs something, right? And I think we spoke about this a little bit earlier. But so every version of yourself requires an exchange. The old version bought belonging in silence, bought approval with over explaining, bought safety with shrinking, bought love with performance. Expression asks for a different currency. It may cost misunderstanding, it may cost comfort, it may cost being called different, too ambitious, too sensitive, too quiet, too confident. You're just too much, right? The question isn't whether expression costs something. The question is what has hiding already been costing you? Because self-abandonment has a price too. Only it's you that paid it in private. No one else knows the parts of yourself that you abandon when you self-abandon, right? They don't know the dreams that you want to go after. They don't know the the late nights you spend up working on something that you need to work on for yourself because you decide to show up for somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? They don't realize the movie date you had planned because and you sacrificed that because your sister needs you to babysit her son. They don't see all the ways you self abandon when you show up for them.
Right.
Right. So expression asks you to put yourself first.
Mm,
What do you feel like doing internally?
mhm,
I think my angle with this one,
mhm.
if I had to have an angle, I'd say we spend a lot of our times asking whether authenticity is worth the risk. But I don't think that's the right question. I think the better question is, has pretending actually been working, right? Eventually you realize you're paying something either way. One
Yeah,
payment, one payment buys acceptance, and I think the other one buys freedom and self-expression and creativity and the life you truly love and want to live, right?
chills. Every
Yeah.
hair is sticking up. Yeah. If something's going to cost something, yeah, what do you want to buy? What do you want to have?
Yeah, what do you want to pay?
Yeah, or freedom, creativity, the life you want. I really like that.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I think hiding has a cost. Expression simply lets you choose a different one.
Hmm. Wow. Hiding has a cost, y'all. So for those of you, and I struggle with this moment, not moment to moment, but times, I'm getting a bit better at it, but hiding, especially with Jupiter and Leo, if you care about astrology, like we're all getting this support to be our boldest, most audacious self. Now's the
Mhm.
time you're energetically supported. Okay, you ready to go on to 6?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Reintroduction isn't something you announce. It's something you practice.
Yep.
Most people think reintroducing yourself requires a speech, an explanation. Usually doesn't. People meet the new version of you through what? Repetition. Like we
On the
like the
way.
bicep curl, we go back to the gym, right? Got to work on
Agree.
it. It's the way you answer the phone, the conversations you no longer entertain, the opportunities you finally pursue, and again, those boundaries you don't apologize for anymore. So these are the standards you're quietly maintaining, right? And eventually, your decisions introduce you before your words even have to. That's fucking,
Exactly.
that's hot. That's why expression, listen to this, is not an event. Oh my God, it's a pattern. Not one courageous moment, even though it might feel like it each time you're
Yeah,
shakily doing this. But
exactly. And that's important to know. It's something small, but it's important to know. Until like you do this repetitively, like she said, it's gonna feel like a courageous moment every time you choose to do what you want to do internally because you're breaking out of cycles and habits,
mhm,
right? And you're gonna be met with resistance by everyone around you.
mhm. Yes, and so this line is so beautiful. It's 1,000 congruent moments. How about this on the flip side? I think I might have said this many moons ago, but 1,000 tiny paper cuts from all those moments you self-abandon, turn them into 1,000 courageous moments of where you're creating the stability of the new life, the new you, right? That's your power. And I love this one. So my angle is it takes the pressure off. You don't
Mm,
have to convince people you've changed. I know a lot of us have the wound of being misunderstood and needing to be understood. It's a valid wound, but this doesn't have to make an announcement. You just keep living and being and showing up in a way that's consistent and congruent with the person you're becoming. And eventually, everything clicks and your life does the introduction for you.
I like that.
Key line: the most powerful introduction you'll ever give is not verbal, it's behavioral.
Ooh, yes. It's when you just show up and you don't explain, you don't talk, you
Mhm.
don't compromise. uh, It's in the behavior.
Wow, that's powerful. And I want to thank you, Goddess T. Marie, because I like my curtains too. The leaf. She likes the leaf. I don't
Oh,
know what
nice.
it's called. It's like a royal palm. I don't know what it is. I love those curtains too. Thank you. And she says, Gabby sitting poolside. Yes, it is a Luke.
Yes, I'm sitting poolside today.
All right, what's our teaching moment, Gabby?
So I think, for the Decode portion, the teaching moment is you don't express who you're becoming. You express who you've repeatedly chosen to be.
Mm,
Expression isn't some oral declaration, it's just accumulated evidence. The world eventually meets the person your habits have been introducing all along. Because expression is not the opposite of hiding, it's the consequence of no longer negotiating with yourself.
wow, that's deep and easy and not easy at the same time.
It's not easy.
Not easy, and it can be.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a powerful decode section. Thank you all for your attention and your time. And now we're going to disrupt the book out of it.
Yes, we are. So what are we challenging today? I think expression isn't difficult because people don't know who you are, don't know who they are, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
difficult because authenticity reorganizes every system that benefited from you shrinking, from your silence, from your self abandonment. So today's disruption isn't about becoming more visible. It's about questioning why visibility feels dangerous in the first place. Like, why are we scared to show up as who we authentically are, right? So let's go into our first disruption point. So we've mistaken expression for performance, right? Social media has blurred the line. Visibility became a branding, authenticity became content, expression became performance. But performance asks, how would they see me? Expression asks, am I accurately representing myself? Performance is audience centered, expressions is integrity centered,
Ooh,
right?
integrity.
Integrity comes from, yes, expression comes from your internal embodiment. So it's integrity centered. Performance is, oh, will this hit the algorithm? Will this get a lot of likes? Is this picture taken at the right angle? Do I look fat in this? It's those things. That's performance, right? Expression is you may take the picture beforehand, you may record the video beforehand, you may do a little bit of edits to the video, right? But is it authentically you? Are those your words? Is that truly how you feel?
Mm,
That's expression. It's integrity centered.
I love that so much.
Thanks. So I think we've inherited this idea that someone notices us expressing ourselves, that we're seeking attention. But we're not attention seeking all the time. Most of the times it's not attention seeking. We're
Mm,
simply refusing to edit ourselves anymore, right?
there's that word again, self-editing, right?
Self-editing. That's all it is. So
Yep.
performance seeks applause, expression seeks congruence. And I think a lot of times when we authentically express ourselves, a lot of people will say, oh, you just want attention. Oh, you're too deep. Oh, it's not that serious. It's because they're projecting, right?
Mhm, mhm.
They envy the way that you are so comfortable showing up as you. They envy your depth. They envy your intellect. So you have to also, you have to take what people say with a grain of salt. Because when you're first starting out, especially in expression, because I was naturally expressive as a child. I've been expressive my whole life. It's just my personality. Oh, you're too much. Oh, you do stuff for attention. No, I don't. I don't do anything for attention. I do stuff because this is me,
Mm,
right? And so a lot of people project their own insecurities onto you,
mhm.
and you got to learn to decipher from true constructive criticism or when someone's projecting. And most times it's projection because, mm, mm, uh, I mean, I think I still say I was going to look it up. I haven't looked it up. I think last time I saw statistics, only 20% of the world is self aware.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Mhm.
Yeah, so 80% of these people is just projecting because they haven't done the inner work.
Yes.
Then they don't even know themselves. How you
That,
gonna tell me anything about me?
thank
I've
you.
been I've been introspective my whole life.
Same,
I've
same.
been a creative. I've done poetry. I've been a writer my entire life. Like I've always done this, right? So expression to me comes natural. Emotional depth to me comes natural
Mhm.
because I've been like this my entire life. And
Oh.
so you have to understand. So when people say, "Oh, people tell me all the time, "Oh, I'm misguided." Oh, you don't listen. No, because you're an idiot. Oh, and my IQ is 166. I've been gifted my whole life. So I have all these things that let me know that makes me firm in who I am, right? And
Yeah.
I don't say that to think I'm better than anyone because I
No.
don't. It
Uh-uh.
just gets exhausting because the world will try to make you shrink, right?
Mm,
But sometimes you got to show them, you know?
I love that, Gabby. I echo all
Yeah,
of that. And Goddess T. Marie says, attention is currency these days. And I've said that on this show. And I said, mark my words, that is legitimately the new wealth. Like where
it
you put
is.
your attention and your energy. Yes.
Attention is currency.
Wait, Marlena B., you're an idiot. I don't understand that. All right. That was a really good from your heart, Gabby, because what you shared, I relate to. And I feel
Yeah.
like we can go off on a whole like 3 hour episode on that. And we're just gonna not let myself wander
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
we can go off. Yeah, that's why I was number one. I didn't want to go off on a tangent, but I wanted to state that one first.
No, that one was deep and I think it's
Yeah,
profound. And the one thing I'll say on that is, when all these people chirp in your ear and try to keep you small, it's like, do I even like the way they live their fucking life? Do they inspire?
exactly.
No, they're living, and
Exactly.
this is not a judgment, but I'm like, bro, you're living the most conventional, safe life, and you're telling me, no, that is your projection, your fear. No.
Yeah,
And if we can just ignore that, and it's usually a permission slip. When we give ourselves the permission slip to express, we grant others permission, and it's what they do or not do with that, but stay out of my lane. That's all I got to say on that.
yeah.
Okay. Are we on disruption number 2 now?
We are.
Okay.
We are.
You want me to take it or do you want to keep rolling?
Oh, you can take it. You can take that one.
All right. Whew. Stop waiting until you're finished to be seen. Okay. What does that mean? I'll launch when I'm ready. I'll speak when I'm more confident. I'll introduce myself once everything is perfect. Growth doesn't work that way. You're not meant to disappear until completion. You're meant to be witnessed while becoming. Hello, the messy middle, right? This is
Yes.
real life, not the curated Instagram. Look at me, I'm already a gazillionaire by the pool. Like, what the fucking fun is that? And there's never a final version because life is always lifing and giving you the opportunity to ever evolve and grow and expand. Duh.
I love that. 'Cause
Right?
that is so true.
Right? That makes life more fun and curious. And is it easy all the time? No. But only deeper congruence. And that, if I don't know, I'm gonna date myself, but if you watched Pee-wee's Playhouse back in the 80s,
I did not.
Pee-wee Herman, he'd have a word of the day and like all these things would be like, ah, the house would go crazy. So I feel like congruence, you'd have like all these people being like, ah, until you get that word in your head.
Yeah.
All right, my angle on this. If you wait until you're completely finished before expressing yourself, you're going to spend your whole fucking life waiting for a version that doesn't and will never exist.
Never did.
Mm-mm. The finished, this is the key line of this point, this disruption point. The finished version of you is a myth. The honest version is available today. Download it now.
Right now. Right now. And just show up as that person. I
Yes.
think last week, I texted Nicolette a couple times last week. Because last week I just decided I was gonna, morph and evolve again. So I decided like last week, I think I changed up my schedule a little bit. I focused more on not just physical fitness, but like fitness in other ways. Like so my daily schedule was gym in the morning, like I always do. And then I went on a run around um 9:30, 10 a.m.
Okay.
after the gym. I went on a nature run and then I ate lunch and then I worked throughout the day and then I went to yoga in the evenings.
Damn,
And
what a
that's
day.
no, and then I came poolside. Yeah, I ate lunch and I came to the pool. And that was my schedule last week. And this week I'm gonna add something new to my schedule. Like I'm just gonna keep adding until my daily life is exactly what I want it to be.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
So disruption point three, not everyone is supposed to recognize you immediately. So people remember who you were, not necessarily who you become. They don't know this version of you yet. That isn't their failure and it isn't yours. Expression asks whether you'll stay loyal to your evolution even while others are still trying to catch up. And I think one of the greatest acts of self-trust is allowing people time to update their understanding of you without shrinking back into the version that's familiar. You aren't obligated to remain recognizable to people who only knew your survival strategies.
Damn. That one I need tattooed on my face because
Yes.
I don't know why I felt that obligation and it's exhausting. I don't even know how to name it and why that is a thing. Do you have any insight on that, Gabby?
I don't think I have any insight on that. I
Okay.
think I think I think for me, like I'll give grace if I haven't already cut you off, because I've cut off almost everybody. I think I'll give you grace, right? One or two times. But after the second time, the first time, okay, you mean for the first time. The second time, it may be a mistake. But after that, you're getting cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
That's
think that's just
shame
a
on you.
boundary I'm going to hold with myself. I will say this. I think everybody has an individual boundary that they should identify and uphold how they're going to implement this.
Okay.
It's on the individual, and I also think it's situation dependent.
Okay. I like that. All right. You ready to move on to number 4?
Yes.
All right. We confuse being misunderstood. Or excuse me, I put in misunderstood. We confuse being understood with being authentic. And what we mean by that is one of the quietest traps in adulthood is believing everyone has to understand your evolution. Again, this is another common wound this need to be understood. So we spend years trying to explain ourselves, guilty, defend ourselves, justify ourselves, translate ourselves into something more palatable, more comfortable. But expression asks a different question, you guys. What if understanding isn't your responsibility? Take it
Because
down
it's not.
off, put it over there. But what if congruences? There's that word
Look,
again.
yes,
Because there's always going to be people who understand the version of you they benefited from, that version that never challenged them. Hello, you're an easy source, right? Whatever it was, money, light, support. You never disappointed them, never outgrew them. Expression doesn't guarantee understanding, you guys. And once we understand that, it just frees us up. But what does it guarantee? Honesty.
it does. And
Uh,
I think honesty is what we owe ourselves. You
uh,
know, a lot of times we look at honesty as what we owe the world. You know, be honest with those around you, those you love, those you care about, your employees, your subordinates, your superiors. But honesty is what you owe yourself first,
mm,
especially when we're talking about expression.
100. Okay. And if
Yeah.
we talk about frequencies, they say love is the highest frequency, but actually authenticity, truth is. And it's actually like dovetailed with love, because if you're being completely who you are, creator, source, God given, whatever you want to call it, that is fucking love.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
that's why it really is a remembrance. It's our divinity, right? It's that part of us that is untouched by the reptilian brain or the smaller human part of us. And we're all of it as a human being. We get the gift of being both and, if you believe or entertain that line of thinking, okay? So my angle here is I think so many of us are carrying around a younger version of ourselves that still believes that if we can just explain ourselves well enough, everyone will finally understand. It's probably that inner child, right? But healing teaches us something different. Not every relationship needs more explanation. Some simply need a more honest version of yourself.
Hmm.
Here's the key disruption: being misunderstood is uncomfortable as shit. Being misrepresented by your life is devastating, though.
It's a tragedy.
It is. So, what would you rather have? A little discomfort or fucking a tragedy all the time? Choice is yours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have anything else to say on that one?
Nah, good
I
stuff.
think you ended it well.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think point five. So stop introducing yourself through your history. Stop introducing the old version of you. You've already um, emerged as someone different. So listen to how people introduce themselves. I've always been. I'm just the type of person who I've never been good at. I'm not someone who I'm guilty of that as well. I'm not a runner. I hate running. I hate cardio. Most of us introduce ourselves through memory, not possibility. We become loyal to stories that were true instead of identities that are becoming true. We become loyal to stories that were true instead of identities that are becoming true. Expression interrupts that pattern because expression isn't just asking, who have you been? It's asking something different. It's who keeps showing up now. Identity isn't built through autobiography, it's built through repetition. The future doesn't care who you used to be, it responds to who you repeatedly become. And I think one of the most radical things we can do is stop using our past as our primary introduction. Like, that's old, right? Your history deserves to be honored, yes, but it doesn't deserve to become your permanent address. You know, the most powerful introduction you'll ever give is your next decision. Make your next decision your best decision.
Mm, okay. I love that. And what comes up for me is I think people mistake humility and reinforcing their limitations. Like how you said, oh, I'll introduce myself. Oh, I'm always the late one, right? Or I'm always this. You're literally cementing and speaking for your limitations and then having that person amplify it and reinforce it. So what happens? It gets stuck and it stays your reality. So that's up to you to be mindful of the language and the way you're introducing yourself. That's just such a powerful hack right there.
It is. I agree. And I love that you gave that hack.
Thank
I
you.
think for me, I think we all get to a point, especially once you've gone through uh the deep healing, right? On the especially at the nervous system level. I think a lot of this stuff that we say is great for people that are still going through that nervous system recalibration phase, right? But those of us who surpassed that and have healed on the nervous system level, this stuff is second nature to us now,
Oh,
right? And I don't want to. I'm not doing it.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's just second nature because you've healed. And those of you that are still in the healing phase, you'll see what I'm talking about. Once the nervous system fully, like it's like you just can't do it. It feels unnatural.
I love that you pointed that out. Yes. And
Yeah,
it's just that quiet power of I say less, just like that whole analogy of martial arts and the warrior. Like, I don't need to fucking say shit no more.
no.
Like, why bother? Anyway, powerful shit. What's the architect's note?
So the architect's note. So architecture doesn't announce itself. It reveals itself through consistency. Walk into any building and eventually you'll understand what it's designed to do. People don't need to explain it. The structure tells the truth. People are no different. Eventually your life tells people what you've built. You don't need a bio, a caption. You don't need to state your intentions. Your structure, habits, standards, boundaries, relationship, and work will speak for itself. Expression isn't creating a new facade. We're not faking it till we make it. It's making sure the architecture on the outside finally matches the blueprint you've been rebuilding on the inside. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my final thoughts on this disruption portion of the show is that maybe expression was never about becoming visible. It was about becoming more congruent. Because every day your life is introducing you, the only question is which version is it introducing? The one built from fear or the one built from truth? You don't become authentic the day people recognize your growth. You become authentic the day you stop needing them to, right? We don't need anyone else's validation because embodiment changed your relationship with yourself. Expression changed your relationship with the outer world. And when those two finally become congruent, your life stops feeling like something like something you're performing, and starts feeling like somewhere you actually belong. Your life is introducing you every day. Make sure it's introducing the right person, because expression begins the moment your public life becomes an honest reflection of your private transformation.
I like that summary. We were kind of leading up to that quiet power, that quiet this presence, your knowingness, your essence, your being, your energy speaks for itself because you've done the nervous system, like your cells have changed, your DNA's changed, the way you walk, you carry yourself because you believe it. You've
Hmm.
rehearsed it, you've practiced it, right? This is your behavior. And then people like energy doesn't lie. You feel shit. So when you walk into a room as the embodied expressed version of you, then you allow the room to reflect you instead of needing to shout out who you are and looking for that validation. Imagine that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Are we complete here in the
Yeah,
disrupt?
we're done. We're gonna go ahead and recalibrate, give the viewers something to reflect on and some takeaways and all
Hmm.
that good stuff.
Hell yeah. You want me to start
So
it off?
yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so this is really important, right? Because, we get so much information. This is the age of information and we can feel overwhelmed. But what we do differently is we want you to recalibrate. We asked you why this episode was important to you. And now you get to reflect and introspect and sit with what comes up for you. So here's the question: where are you still introducing yourself as someone you've already outgrown? Takeaway. Go ahead, Gabby. What's the takeaway?
So that was the question, right? So this is for you guys. Do a self inventory, introspect. Where are you still introducing yourself as someone you've outgrown? And this is the takeaway. Pay attention to the introduction you make this week. All the introductions you make this week, pay attention. Not with your name, your choices, not with your name, with your choices, standards, boundaries, work, voice, silence. Every decision introduces someone who has your life been introducing you as lately. So how have you been showing up in your own life lately? Through the way that you introduce yourself, through the way that you converse with people, through what you tolerate, you know what I'm saying? And these are the action steps. Choose one place where you've been editing yourself to preserve familiarity and acceptance. Maybe it's work, maybe it's relationship, maybe it's your creativity, maybe it's your ambition, right? And ask yourself, if I stop managing other people's expectation, what part of me would naturally become visible? Then practice expressing that part, not dramatically, not performatively, but be honest. We're asking you to honestly express that part of yourself. So the question, if I stop managing other people's expectation, what part of me would naturally become visible?
That's huge, Gabby, because this is again natural, organic, not
Yeah,
performed, not contrived, not done for validation's sake. No, if you just stop managing the room and other people's reactions, what naturally wants to emerge from you? That's hot.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Here's a bonus practice if you want it, you guys. Instead of asking, how do I get people to see the new me? Ask, where am I still hiding the person I've already become? So, where are you still hiding the person that you've already become? And this is like self sabotage. This is like safety, right? This is hiding.
Mhm.
We're not judging you. It's the organism wanting to survive. The ego is trying to preserve you and keep you safe, and you need to get past that. You need to get past that if you want to. So remember, expression isn't something you force. It's something you stop interrupting. I like that.
Absolutely. And like you said, you said it's the ego still trying to preserve itself.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's still the nervous system. You still have nervous system work to do as well. So
Yep.
it's either ego or it's still nervous system work that still needs to be done. Before, because remember, embodiment comes before expression. You have to naturally embody what you want to express. Because if you're not naturally embodying it, it becomes what? Performative. And
I
that's the key difference, right?
I almost feel like we can take a moment to kind of dissect the two. We're giving you biology here and neuroscience around why
Yeah.
it's so hard to change. Okay. So when I say ego, okay, we're going psychology a little bit because we
Hmm.
all need to individuate and be separate and not, or else if we didn't have a healthy ego, then we would just merge with everyone. Okay. Psyches. Like you need to be a self individuated, activated person. So when your organism feels threatened on a primal level, you're going to either fight or flight, duh. And that ties into the nervous system because now your nervous system is responding to your environment and your reactions and your thoughts. So you're protecting yourself. Do you see how they kind of dovetail, Gabby?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're just trying to help you see the light around why it might be hard to keep doing the changes. That's why it's repetition because you're training your
Yep.
nervous system. It's safe to be different.
Yep.
It's safe to take up space. It's safe to speak up.
Yep.
All
You're
right.
giving your nervous system a new baseline, basically.
Correct. And that's when shit starts getting fun is when it's your new baseline and it's automatic.
Yep.
Right. I just wanted to take that time because I don't think that's really spelled out, that nuance. So
Yeah, we did it. We don't get too deep into the neuroscience and the biology or the psychology too much in this
yeah,
episode. We did a lot with like change psychology on the very surface level.
very cool.
So
Okay. I
yeah.
lost myself. Where are we at with the okay,
Final reflection. We're at the final reflection,
all
right?
right. Take it home.
All right. So you don't owe the world a reinvention. You don't owe anyone a performance. You don't have to convince people you've changed. You just keep making decisions that are congruent with who you're becoming. Right? Eventually, your life will do the introducing for you. Allow your life to become the introduction your words no longer need.
Okay. Thank you. And there's a great comment. Libra joined and you say you don't agree. And I welcome when we don't agree. That's the whole point of growth. So if you want to elaborate before we close on what you don't agree with, manipulation should not happen with your team. I don't understand that. Do you understand that, Gabby?
No, I don't think we've discussed manipulation at all.
I don't.
I
Yeah,
don't even think we've mentioned the word manipulation in
nah,
this
not
episode.
once. So I don't know where
Oh,
that's
okay.
coming from. Out of respect, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't get that. All right. So to close out this episode, maybe expression isn't about finding your voice. Maybe it's about trusting that your life can finally speak with it. Huh.
That's interesting.
I
And
know.
maybe the most powerful reintroduction isn't the one you give, it's the one your decisions quietly make every single day. You don't have to announce that you've changed. You simply have to stop negotiating with the version of self that you've already outgrown.
Mm-hmm. Well, my friends, this is Decode Disrupt, where insight meets
Means
interruption.
interruption.
And we
Thank you guys
thank
for
you
joining.
so much, each and every one of you, for your time, attention, and energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And go be great.
Yeah, if Libra doesn't mind, just send us a DM. I would
Yeah,
love to
I want
try
to
to
understand.
understand. Yeah, I
100.
want to understand what you were trying to get at. Maybe we'll discuss it on next week's episode.
Yeah, because again, they said I don't deal with manipulation, but I don't know what, I'm completely lost to that. So DM us and we'll bring it up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Peace, y'all. Thank you so much.